Good morning and welcome to our Ask the Agronomist Facebook Live. We are here today with Phil Long, the expert on Precision Ag.
Yeah, I'll do my best to be the expert anyway.
That's right, I'll talk to you if you don't want to. Phil is obviously our go-to with all Precision Ag things, so today we're going to be doing a tutorial and I'm pretty excited to see what you have to say.
Kind of a demo on the Climate FieldView, that actually just the cab app, so the one that works when you're in the tractor. So we've talked about it before, that data visualization, that big fancy word, but basically it's just kind of like adding a second monitor to your cab. So we're going to go into some of the details and setup on how to get ready for planting.
Okay, sounds good. Well, let's get started.
Sure.
One of the main things we're looking at today is just entering hybrids and varieties into it. So the first step that many farmers are probably already starting to take.
Yeah. So not to bring the weather into this, but we're sitting in the perfect time right now when guys are like, oh, I can't, it's not nice enough to get my planter out maybe and change blades or do some final things. So getting your monitors and getting things like this, the technology side of things set up, is probably the thing you should be doing while it's cold. You know, I talked to a guy the other day, he said, you know, his dad said, man, it's just so much harder now to get things set up and get in the cab. You can't just get in the cab and drive the tractor.
Right.
You know, oh, I gotta set up all this stuff, you know, but the reward at the end and having that information is extremely valuable to the operation and for many years to come. That's what I don't want people to forget, is that it's not just about this year. Yeah. It's about the next 10 years.
I'll say, and not even just the next year either. It's
you want to build quality data for the future, and that's why this is actually a very important topic.
Okay, sounds good. Well,
so we'll jump right in. Zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to go into the cab app, which is like you can see there, kind of. Yep. I got it on both bars there. It may lag a little bit as we get started. But one of the things that's really important when it comes to entering hybrids and varieties, you know, I just mentioned the quality aspect, but also the simplicity for the farmer. So I'm going to jump back out of here quick. So keeping it simple. Right. You know, guys, a lot of times they'll go into this and they'll think, oh, I'm just gonna throw in a hybrid number or a variety number, something like that, and it'll be fine. Right. Well, what you got to remember is, especially these guys, a lot of guys are using more than one planter. So is the other guy that's in the other planter entering the name exactly like you are? Probably not. Right. This happens all the time with field names. Guys will put a capital letter, and then the other guy driving the other planter will put it all lowercase. Right. That right there is enough to screw it up. So when your yield data comes back in, it's going to be separated. So attention to details for sure. So this the whole point of this is standardization. We're going in here. We're going to pick the ones from the list. Okay. You know, so farmers should be able to just pick the hybrid, put it in there, get it ready, and be able to rock and roll once planting comes. So this is the home page of the cab app. As you see, typically you go into the map there when you're running your piece of equipment. But we're going to go down to the lower left here in the settings part. Once you get into the settings, you see this is kind of the boring screen, I guess a lot of guys probably think. But on the left side of the screen, you'll see a thing that says hybrids. And if you click on that, it's as simple as that. My finger must not be warm enough or something today. It's not working extremely
That's all right.
well.
It always lags a little bit when you attach it to another device too. So no, we're good.
Yeah. Yep. So you can see here, I've already got several on my list in here already picked. So we're going to go in and just for as an example, we're just going to show how to grab a few more. So at the bottom of the screen, you see the add new hybrid. Yes. Right? Fairly simple, right there. I want to point out one other thing though. If you scroll, when you pull up this menu, you're going to, so the first thing, the easiest thing to do is this is going to pre-populate. So number one, you want to be hooked up to internet. That's important. Right. Do this in your house in the morning when you're drinking coffee, getting breakfast, whatever. All you got to do is enter a number. So I'm just going to throw in our 6224 here. It may sometimes take a little while to populate because it's going through a lot of different numbers. So you can see I'm going to get the keyboard out of the way there. I just typed in just the number. Right. You know, don't make it overly complicated. If you type, you know, a bunch of letters in there, just type the number in there and you can see that it's going to come up with the ones that are related to that number. So this is automatically
fed with all of the hybrids and
so
varieties you could choose.
Yeah, so this is standardized, across, many different seed companies. As you can see, there's more than just ours in there. And if you type in other numbers, there's going to be other things come up as well. And that's like going back to what I just said. The whole point of this is so that people pick the right one.
Right.
So that when you have a couple planters going or whatever, it's impossible not to pick the right one here. There's only one in terms of the Latham High-Tech Seeds one there to pick. So you'll see at the bottom here, it says add custom hybrid. That's the one thing you don't want to do.
Okay.
Unless it's absolutely necessary and there's not one in there.
Okay.
But this is what I don't want people doing, because that's what people have been known to do. And then, like I said, you have 2 or 3 other guys add a custom hybrid themselves. They're all lowercase, uppercase, different spaces.
Right.
All that makes a difference. How that's put in there, exactly how it's put in there, most people will not replicate exactly. So go ahead and just pick that one. All you got to do is select it, and it's added to your list. You'll see right there at the bottom in terms of order. It's as simple as that. So you can remove, you can add more. I'm going to pull in a variety here in just a second, soybean variety in just a second. But those are all there so that when you get ready to plant, you don't have to do this process. It's already in there, and all you got to do is select it. So if guys have a split planter, you can go in there, you can select the rows. It'll say what hybrid is in what rows.
Right.
And those hybrids are already in there. So this is the part that I encourage guys to do right now before we get into the season. So I'll just go in there. I'm going to grab one more just to show you once again how simple it is.
And this has tremendous time savings. Say, get a month later in the year and switching to hybrids, you're not going to have to worry about reloading the ones now. So good thing to do now.
I was trying to grab an extend variety here, so our 2484 one that's down there. So this is a good point to make again. You see lots of different companies in there with that same number. So like I said, type the number in, and it's going to bring up your pick list. You see several of them in there, even a cotton variety down there that you can choose from. So you see the one there, the only one you should see from Latham High-Tech Seeds in there is an extend bean. Then all you got to do is simply click on that one, and it's added to your list. You can see right there. So very simple procedure, nothing complicated about it. I just want people to know that this is something that if they get done now, they don't have to worry about later. Another point I want to make is there's a lot of guys we have that are using more than one planter, so they have multiple iPads. And so the question is, if the younger guy in the family goes out there and he does all this work, will it go to the other iPad? And yes, it will. So just make sure they go in there. If you're having issues from that home screen, go back to that home screen, go on those other iPads, and hit this button down here, this cloud stuff. Because this essentially is the cloud. So if all your iPads are hooked into the same cloud, all you got to do is kind of sync them together so they'll all have those similar hybrids and varieties in them.
Okay, sounds good. So maybe a tricky question, I'm sure you know it. Is it the same account for one farm? So do different operators have different emails associated with the same account, or is it all the same?
Well, that depends, I guess.
Okay.
That's the agronomist answer. But no, if like I just said, if you're running several planters, you should have one climate account. One email that's under. Then you can have several iPads. They're all logged into the same cab app. So that's what makes them all sync together. And that's how when those guys are running in the field and they see the map coming up on the screen, they can also see the other operator's map loading on the screen as well. So that they can see as they're going across the field, if it's nighttime, how far has he got done, without just looking for the headlights. He can look on his screen and see, okay, he's almost done. I'm going to head to the next field. So that's the one really nice benefit of Climate FieldView, and the visualization part in the cab is real-time data streaming that in, and that's what a lot of guys really like it for. So like I said, simple tip today, but just something that's extremely important, and you don't want to get to the end of the season and have to worry about, oh man, the yield data is all separated because we decided to name it all different, So make sure you pick those, get them in there, and they'll be there for when you're ready to plant.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you for our viewers for tuning in, and if you need any help with the app, Phil's always happy to help others, so more than willing to help you lay the groundwork. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good day.